What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here as the best predictor on YouTube. Now officially, thanks to the comments on my last video, the best editor on YouTube as well. And today we're going to be predicting who will be the UFC champion of every single weight class by the end of 2026. We're getting some announcements for fights coming in January, February, and March. The new year will be here before you know it, and there's going to be a lot of title changes. There's going to be a lot of big fights in 2026. We do this every year. Last year, listen, we had some hits. I said JDM would win the fucking belt, and I fucking knew that was going to bloody happen. All right? I said Joshua Van would be champion. I'm that guy. Okay? Yes, I also picked Khamzat Chimaev. I mean, I'm a genius, right? I also may or may not have said Umar Nurmagomedov would be the dominant Bantamweight champion. You know, there's hits and there's misses, dude. But today, I've really, truly believe, bro. I'm going 8 for 8. All right, man. Let's get into this. Let's start off in the heavyweight division. Let's go back to front for once. All right, pause. Starting off, heavyweight division. I think Alex Pereira will be the heavyweight champion in 2026. I don't know, man. I feel like after watching Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, I really feel like Alex Pereira is just skill for skill better than Tom Aspinall. Like, he's not a better grappler, but he has great takedown defense. He has crazy good striking, great fight IQ, very, very solid ability to mitigate damage on the ground. And I just think when you look at the fact that he just fucking destroyed Magomed Ankalaev, who is a nightmare matchup for him, who's also a massive light heavyweight. Let's not act like he's cherry picking fights here. Ankalaev is a fight that he kind of pushed back for a long time and fought, you know, Khalil Roundtree instead, and, you know, went through that rivalry, losing the first fight and then winning the second fight. But throughout both of those fights, you can say what you want about him getting, you know, outstruck in that first fight, rocked here and there. He still defended 20-something like he defended every single fucking takedown very, very well. Landed his calf kicks, landed his jabs, and I just think he's a very pedigreed and very good striker, better than Cyril Gane as a striker. And we saw Cyril Gane against Tom Aspinall. In my opinion, if you're Tom Aspinall, in my fucking humble opinion, you should be able to blob Cyril Gane and sub him in the round. That's really what I feel like Tom Aspinall should have been able to do to Cyril Gane. When you look at what John Jones did to him, and you look at the fact that Cyril Gane is one of the most unmotivated, lazy, fucking half-hearted heavyweight contenders in the entire fucking division, let alone the entire fucking UFC. And I know that fight ended from an eye poke, but facts are facts. Cyril Gane would have won that round 10-9. I don't think he would have won that fight against Tom Aspinall, but what I'm saying is, from what we saw from Cyril Gane, I think Alex Pereira beats Cyril Gane. I think he beats Tom Aspinall. I don't think it's ridiculous to say that. I think he's going to end this year as the heavyweight champion. Maybe with a defense as well. Maybe he wins an interim fight against Cyril Gane, then fights Tom Aspinall, and then maybe defends the belt at the end of the year against like Waldo Cortez Acosta. Imagine that. Imagine somebody time traveling back and telling you, yes, bro, you're correct. The year will end with Alex Pereira versus Waldo Cortez Acosta for the heavyweight title. You may not believe it, but it's very fucking possible. And I do think Alex Pereira is going to be the heavyweight champion. I think he's going to be able to pull this off. I didn't believe, and I need to stress that. You can go back in my videos. I did not believe that, bro. I was not out here being like, bro, Alex Pereira by whatever he wants, bro. Before the Cyril Gane fight, I would have picked Tom Aspinall to absolutely fucking ragdoll Alex Pereira. But now I just don't see it. I just feel like Alex Pereira will chop up his legs and defend the takedowns decently well. He's a massive light heavyweight. I'm sure he could be a fine, like a big heavyweight and do fine in that division. And he's got lighter man skill. He's got 2 weight classes worth of lighter man skill. Enough said. Tom Aspinall, your time has come, buddy. I think Alex Pereira is the next heavyweight champion. Let's move on to the light heavyweight division because we want some like ups and downs. There's going to be some champions you'll be really happy to be like, yes, I hope that happens. There's also going to be some you may consider, you know, canceling your subscription to Paramount. You may start watching fucking BFL instead, all right? Light heavyweight division. This is a good one, though. Let's go for that. Let's go for that. I bring the belt back to my village. It was necessary to do that. Yuri Prochazka, dude, imagine the timeline. I said this in my predicting every pay-per-view video. Please go watch that. It's a fucking banger if you haven't seen it. It got age restricted for some reason. I don't know why, but listen, dude. if we end the year with Yuri and Alex Pereira both as champions, in the same way that right now we have Volk, Ilya, and Islam as champs, like why can't we all, you know, work together as like ending? That would be amazing. And I feel like this actually will happen. I've been confident in the past year that, especially when Ankalaev was the champion, and I thought, damn, he might beat Pereira again, and I don't see anybody else beating him except Yuri Prochazka. I promise you, on everyone's soul, including mine, I would have picked Yuri Prochazka to beat Magomed Ankalaev for the title if he beat Pereira again. I swear to you, I just know Yuri Prochazka beats everyone else at 205 except Pereira, dude. I know it in my heart. And I know that Pereira is going to leave this division either now or after his next fight against Carlos Ulberg. That would be even better if he just knocks out Ulberg and then disappears. I don't have to deal with this guy. But I think what will happen is Alex Pereira will move up to heavyweight, capitalize on the situation of Tom Aspinall being out with the injury. Mate, I can't fucking see, mate. Make a fucking interim belt, mate. I can't make the title fight between fucking Pereira and Marcin Tybura, mate. I can't fucking see. Right? I think Pereira will capitalize on this whole situation, move up to heavyweight, get a fight with Cyril Gane and get the interim title and get the fight with Aspinall. And I think at light heavyweight, it will be very clearly Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. Because I know for a fact it doesn't matter what Ankalaev does or says, he is not getting another title shot unless he beats every single other person in this fucking weight class. So the next title fight is going to be Yuri versus Ulberg at light heavyweight. That feels very obvious. And I think Yuri wins that, dude. I think his chin is so fucking good. And he actually is improving. He's actually I am absorbing the right hand. And let's go for that. Put him against the cage. And bring the storm. Let's go for that. I just think Yuri Prochazka plot armors his way through Ulberg, and then he defends his belt at the end of the year, either against Ankalaev somehow if he beats Mirzakhanov, or most likely, I feel like Yuri versus Mirzakhanov will happen before the end of the year for the light heavyweight title. I think Yuri wins that fight. I mean, Mirzakhanov, he is really fucking dangerous early on, and maybe he just has that type of Alex Pereira power where he can actually just KO Yuri Prochazka. But I feel like when you look at Azamat Mirzakhanov, the guys that he's chinning are chinny as fuck, or just not on his level at all. And there's so many fights where he's having really competitive back and forth scraps with random jobbers like Dustin Jacoby, no disrespect, fucking Tafon and Chukwi, just a blob in the apex going to war with fucking Mirzakhanov. I just don't like that. I feel like Mirzakhanov is really good, and I think skill for skill, he's one of the better light heavyweights. I really enjoy watching him fight. He's kind of like a Fedor type build, and I enjoy watching him slime people out that underestimate him. But I think the rubber meets the road when you fight Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka will tank that shit. He will autism his way through your fucking strikes. He will chin you in round 3 or round 4 with some crazy combo up against the fence, and then take 6 months off and pray in the woods. Yuri Prochazka ending the year as the light heavyweight champion. Please let this happen. I really feel like this is extremely possible. I'm going to say Yuri ends the year as the light heavyweight champion. Now, like I said, there's going to be some that you're happy about, and then there's going to be some that there's just no way around it. I think Khamzat Chimaev's keeping this fucking belt, dude. Look at what I'm seeing on my screen right now, dude. Look at this cheeky fuck over here fucking smiling his little ass off, knowing he's about to take another year off. He's going to come back in fucking April or May and fight Nasruddin Imavov, who, I'm sorry, I know Nasruddin Imavov is the #1 contender, dude. But I could not give less of a fuck about this cunt fighting for the belt. I would literally be more intrigued by Chimaev versus GM32. I know that Imavov is good. I'm just going to say it like it is and say it how I feel it, bro. I'm not saying Imavov is not good. I'm saying Imavov is really fucking good. I think him versus Chimaev is a super interesting fight. But it just pisses me the fuck off that we're only going to get one fight this year from this fucking guy. And it's against Imavov, who doesn't speak English. His character on Instagram and in the promos is he doesn't have a character. Whoa! That's so fucking exciting, man. I really want to buy a pay-per-view to watch this guy who has no personality. I don't give a like, I know he's good, bro. But I would rather see Chimaev fight actively against these guys. Just get him out the way. Because I think he beats Imavov. And I think Imavov has really good takedown defense, really good striking. He's a big middleweight. He's improved his cardio. There's a lot of things to like about Imavov against Chimaev, but Chimaev is just another level. I think that if Brendan Allen can take you down and control you easily in the first round, I think if Jared Cannonier can take you down in the first round and get to your back and control you for a little bit of that fight, you know, you're having a competitive fight with fucking Edmund Shablazian, right? And you're losing to Phil Horst, dude. I'm sorry, but Hamza Chimaev is beating you, dog. Hamza Chimaev is so fucking good, bro. And I just have to say it like it is, dude. I think Chimaev beats Imavov and then disappears for the entire year and probably tries to get a 205 title shot. Some bullshit like that. I know you guys saw that Brett Okamoto interview that came out. This guy's talking about he wants one more fight, then he's going up to light heavyweight. Like, we want to see this guy fight Strickland, who has beat... Here's the fucking thing about the fucking Chechnyan, you guys. Listen, dude. The guy's a little fucking slut, you guys. I want to see him fight Strickland, dude. I want to see him fight Anthony Hernandez. I want to see him fight Brendan Allen, dude. I don't care, man. All these guys at middleweight. I don't give a fuck if it's like a Mavov, bro. But whoever it is, Chimaev, like, bro, I'm begging you, dude. I'm not even a Mavov fan. I just went on this rant about how boring he is, bro. I'm praying Mavov wins this fight, but I know he's not going to. Chimaev's going to win. We're going to have to wait another year to see Anthony Hernandez get his title shot because Hernandez will bring the fight. Hernandez will make it exciting. He'll do crazy shit. He'll scramble. He'll try and sub Chimaev. He'll jump gillies on him. He'll get in his face, emote on him, and he'll make it a banger. But until then, Chimaev is going to be keeping a hold of this belt in 2026. Let's move on to the welterweight division. Islam Makhachev, brother. This guy, brother. Brother, who gonna beat this guy? Tell me, brother. Tell me where this guy is that's gonna beat him. I don't know this guy. I just don't see anybody beating Islam at 170, bro. Like, I do not see a single soul beating this man. I mean, if fucking JDM can't do it, nobody can. That's my logic, bro. I'm gonna simultaneously glaze JDM by glazing Islam. I mean, JDM... I mean, if JDM, the GOAT, can't beat this guy, nobody else will. I think he's going to have 2 fights this year in 2026. I already talked about him in my pay-per-view video, so I'll keep this short, but this is what I think is going to happen with Islam Makhachev. He's going to come back in June at the White House, and he's going to fight either Kamaru Usman, absolute joke, or it should be Ian Machado Gary. That is what the fight should be, is Islam versus Ian Gary. And give Usman a fight with Shavkat or Prates or Morales or JDM, whatever it is. If you're trying to set that fight up, he needs to fight a top 5 contender. But I think Islam's going to beat Ian Gary in a really competitive fight. Ian Gary's going to act like he will. I've gone out there. You're seeing what nobody thought I could beat Islam Makhachev. And you're seeing how that turned out. The guy literally loses a 49-46 decision. Everyone dealt with me. And I proved them right tonight. Like, I know Ian Gary's going to do that shit. Ian Gary's going to act like he won. He's going to post a crafty little IG reel showing his highlights, acting like he won against Islam Makhachev. He's not winning the fucking belt. He'll probably jump a heel hook or some shit at some point. And then later in the year, probably in Abu Dhabi or MSG, I think we will finally get Islam versus Kamaru Usman, or somehow Islam versus Ilia Topuria. And I think he wins both of those fights. And again, I think if Usman gets a title shot, Usman's going to fucking have a close fight and lose. And then the rest of time, whenever Islam wins a fight, Kamaru Usman's going to tweet out some shrug emojis and act like he got robbed. Hey, I'm a problem. Don't back up, Islam. I'm coming all night long. Like, that's what's going to happen. Ian's going to lose a close fight, act like he won. Usman's going to lose a close fight, act like he won. If Ilya fights him, I think he gets blobbed at 170. I love Ilya. I think that, you know, his style is fucking sick. I want to see him versus Islam at 155. But at 170, he's getting fucking blobbed. He's getting smudged. He's getting Bryce Mitchelled, but full blown for 5 rounds. That's what I think is going to happen. Islam's going to stay the 170 champion. Now, my next prediction for 155. This is where it gets controversial. This is where it gets a little bit of a hot take, if you will. Arman Sarkarian, I think this guy's a future champion. I really do. And I offer you this. Armand called me last night. He really did. He called me. And he said, I don't care who has the belt. I'm fighting for the belt next. And that's a great call to make. I really believe that. I really think that that's the call that you make. If you're Arman Sarkarian, you call out one name and you call out Conor McGregor. That's the obvious name. Listen, bro. Ahmed Saruri, hear me out. Hear me out. Calm down. Stay here. Calm down. Calm down, brother. All right? This is what I think is going to happen. Ilia Topuria, there's 2 outcomes with this dude. All right? Either he vacates his belt immediately if Justin Gaethje beats Paddy Pimblett, and we get Arman versus Paddy Pimblett for the vacant lightweight title at the White House. I can definitely see the UFC. Either we get Ilya versus Paddy, or if Paddy loses, all right, Ilya, you can fight Islam, go up to 170. We'll give you that fight. That's a big money fight. We'll do that at the White House, or we'll do that later in the year at MSG. Whatever it is, I think if Paddy Pimblett loses, we're getting Ilya versus Islam, and Arman versus Gaethje for the belt, and Paddy versus Charles Oliveira later on in the year. Or if Paddy Pimblett wins, then Ilya will fight him, because he's the interim champion. He'll be like, this guy don't deserve to fight me. You know what I mean? He'll I'm not going to say he'll duck Arman, but he'll make it very clear, like, he's not the interim champion. I don't have to fight this fucking guy. He's going to pull out again. Whatever it is, Ilya will pull that move on Arman 110%. And Arman will fight somebody else for the vacant belt after Ilya beats Paddy and vacates the belt. It'll be Arman versus Max Holloway. You know, somebody like that for the vacant lightweight belt. And he will probably end up as champion. That's kind of my prediction, is at some point in 2026... Ilya vacates, and it's so fucking gay that we have to predict fights like this, but that's literally what the UFC is becoming. Like, I don't see Ilya fighting Arman realistically. Now that we know everything we know, which is Paddy versus Gaethje for the interim belt, Ilya has said outright, if Paddy loses, I'm not fighting the winner. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He literally said it. The UFC has other plans if Gaethje wins, aka I'm not fighting this old fuck. I'm just gonna vacate the belt because I don't care, and I want to fight Islam Makhachev. I'm only sticking around if the UFC gets the fight that they want for promotion. That shouldn't even be happening now. It should be next, after I fight Arman, and Arman just gets nothing. That's where we're at. So I feel like Ilya's gonna vacate this fucking belt and chase Islam. And Arman's gonna have to fight somebody else and not be the lineal lightweight champion. And that's what it is, dude. Like, that is what the UFC is fucking becoming, especially with Ilya and Islam both doing it. It feels like these two weight classes, it's always not necessarily who deserves it, who's the best. It's more like what does the UFC want to make? What's the big names to put together? It's so fucking lame, dude. But that's what I think's gonna happen with lightweight, if I'm being honest, right, man? Let's move on to the featherweight division. This is just such a funny prediction, bro. The featherweight division. Okay. Movsar Evloev, dude. He's gonna be the champion at some point. Like, I have accepted this. I think it's fucking hilarious. I think it's sport killing. Dana White at the post-fight thing would be so funny, dude. Dana White, the day that Evloev touches the belt, Dana White. Who's got the first question? What's the kid's name? Evloev? Yeah, we're looking to do what are we doing? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see on two. Not exactly a barn burner tonight. So, yeah, congrats to the guy. I mean, he won the belt. He won the belt. What can you say? He's the champ. What do you fucking think? You think I'm happy about this? What do you fucking think? I just know Dana White's gonna fucking kill himself if Movsar becomes champion. And I think a lot of people will probably join him, dude. I think that Movsar Evloev at some point, just with the fact that I think Volk is so old at this point that he either beats Lopez and just retires, or he gets fluked by Lopez in the rematch, and that would really piss me off, because these fucking Lopez glazers. You're like, bro, see, dude, he's so much better now. Nothing to do with the fact that he shouldn't even be fighting Volk in the first place. Of course, if you fight a 37-year-old with no chin twice, eventually you're gonna fucking catch him, right? But I think regardless of what happens in that fight, I definitely see Lopez versus Evloev for the belt at some point, or Evloev versus Murphy for the belt at some point. I just feel like any way you slice this division, I think Evloev beats all these guys. I'm not going to lie. He nearly finished Diego Lopez in the first fight. I think he's a very underrated striker. He's a pretty decent boxer. Has no power whatsoever, but he has a pretty good jab. Good defense, rolls pretty well with shots, lands good shots, mixes in his takedowns. I think he beats Diego Lopez. He has really good ground and pound. He will get on top of Lopez and beat the shit out of him, just like he did in the first fight. We've seen that he can scramble and survive submission escapes from him. I think he beats Lerone Murphy. I think he has better cardio than Murphy. I think that he can out-wrestle him and ragdoll him. And I think he beats Yair Rodriguez. I think he absolutely wipes the floor with Yair Rodriguez. So in that equation, I don't see a way, unless Volk turns back the clock and defends his belt 2 or 3 times this year against all these guys and doesn't get finished or doesn't get rocked or doesn't take enough damage to where he's like, you know what, I think I'm just going to retire on top. I just don't see that. I feel like Volk is a super smart guy, and why would you not retire on top if you beat Lopez again in the rematch in your hometown in front of a home crowd? I feel like Volk is either going to retire or lose the belt at UFC 325. And after that point, Evloev becoming champion is fucking inevitable on some Thanos shit. So I think Evloev's going to be champ by the end of 2026. And yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be very, very happy about that. It's so funny, dude. It's like one of those outcomes that genuinely I could see like MMA Guru like punching a hole through his fucking camera, dude. Like I feel like people would be going fucking nuts, dude. And by the way, I was looking through the files. I didn't see Evloev in there, but I'll keep looking, guys. But let's move on to the Bantamweight division. And this is one that might bring some people back after what I've said for the Featherweight division. I think Petr Yan's going to keep the belt, dude. I'm an O'Malley Glazer. You know this. You guys understand this about me. I'm an O'Malley super fan. I really want to see him versus Yan rematch for the belt. And of course, I'm gonna be hyped. Like I'm gonna be like, bro, O'Malley won that first fight in my opinion. It was super close. It was a banger regardless of who you think won. It was a fucking war. I want to see it again. But I think Yan wins that fight very closely. I think he has two tough rematches ahead of him this year. I think he fights Merab in the trilogy early in the year, and then later on in the year, he fights Sean O'Malley. And I think both of those fights are super competitive. I think he wins both of those kind of 48-47, maybe a 49-46 against Merab if he really, you know, have fully figured him out and he has no problem with him at all. But I think the O'Malley fight's going to be a war. But I lean towards Yan being completely unbiased because Sean O'Malley, the things that kind of made him lose moments in that fight against Yan is his cardio and his wrestling. That's really what it is. And he just stayed in the pocket way too long. And Yan was able to kind of like block and counter on the same side. Really smart boxing. We've always seen that from Petr Yan. But Sean O'Malley has improved his cardio. He has improved his grappling. We've seen that in the Merab fights. Even though he got finished by Merab in the last fight, he did show improvements in his takedown defense throughout both of those matchups. He went 5 hard rounds with Chito Vera and Merab in the first fight. Really held up well, hurt Merab to the body in the 5th round of their first fight. So I think O'Malley has shown improvements in his cardio, in his grappling, and those will be really interesting to see against Yan. But I lean towards Yan very closely because he's always had great cardio. He mauls people as the fight goes on. He builds into these fights. He's improved his grappling as well. And that's a big factor. He's taking down Merab. He's defending the takedowns perfectly. I think if he needs to take down Sean O'Malley, he will be able to and maybe get some control time, lock him up a little bit. But I also think he's improved his defense. We saw in that second Merab fight that he's rolling and moving even better somehow, like avoiding all the damage, all the blockhead blitzes of Merab. I think Yan has just improved a little bit in the areas that cost him that fight more than Sean O'Malley has shown these huge leaps and bounds from the first Petr Yan fight. But I still think that both of these guys matched up will be a very competitive fight. I could see Sean O'Malley winning the rematch, but I'm going to lean towards Petr Yan. And I think that he beats Umar as well. If they don't give Sean O'Malley the title shot and we get Yan versus Merab and then Yan versus Umar, I think Umar is maybe a hot take. I think Umar is the easiest fight for Yan out of Merab, O'Malley, and Umar. I know that sounds like a fucking casual take, but seriously, Umar is chinny. Let's be fucking real. The guy got dropped by Beksa Imakan. That's number 1. He got dropped by Mario Batista. Okay. That's not funny, guys. He got dropped by Mario Batista. Okay. And I just feel like Umar, he has the worst cardio out of the 3 of them. Like Sean O'Malley's been 5 hard rounds twice now in his career. Umar had one 5-round fight against Corey Sandhagen where he just hugged him the entire time. Like every time he got into a dominant position on the ground, he just held him. Like he just maintained control, just made Corey Sandhagen do a lot of the work, mixed in some takedowns, did slow down a little bit, but it was mainly a striking fight. As soon as grappling was involved, which you would have to use grappling to beat Petr Yan, we saw him slow down against Merab and kind of get mogged in that fight and really bullied around late in that fight. So I think Yan would probably TKO Umar late, whereas O'Malley and Merab, I think he beats them by decision. My whole point being, I do think Yan will keep the belt in 2026. All right, man. Last one to talk about, Flyweight division. And you're waiting to see if I'm going to switch up on Joshua Van. Hear me out, bro. Hear me out. Okay? You gotta listen to what I'm about to say, bro. Because I feel like I'm a fucking genius and I've just cracked the code. Okay? I think the top of Flyweight right now, without Pantoja being, in the mix because he's injured. Okay? I think it's like a rock, paper, scissors, dude. I think Manel Kape beats Joshua Van. And I love Joshua Van. I really, really want him to be champion the rest of the year. I hope to God I'm wrong. I will literally sacrifice my firstborn, like, no bullshit, to keep Joshua Van as flyweight champion for as long as I can. But I do think Manel Kape probably chins him, dude. I'm just going to be real. Manel Kape has crazy good power. He's super explosive. He's super quick. It'll be a primary striking matchup. Joshua Van's not going to mix in takedowns unless he absolutely needs to. And I think if Charles Johnson can knock you out, then Manel Kape can do the same. So I think Manel Kape beats Joshua Van, but I think Joshua Van beats Tatsuro Taira, but Taira beats Manel Kape. Do you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's a fucking triangle. Because Manel Kape, he loses to grapplers. He gets grappled by Muhammad Makayev. He gets diddled by Muhammad Makayev, loses that fight. I think Tatsuro Taira is the closest thing, maybe even a better straight up grappler, more dominant than Makayev. I think Makayev is like naturally so gifted and so skillful. He's probably a better striker, but Tatsuro Taira, when he takes you down, he finishes you straight away. Muhammad Makayev loses the first 2 rounds and then subs you in round 3 with a fucking rear naked choke. That's what he does. This is what he does. So I think that Tatsuro Taira actually out grapples Manel Kape, potentially submits him, and I think that Manel Kape beats Joshua Van, and I think Joshua Van beats Tatsuro Taira because he has great takedown defense. And Tatsuro Taira's weakness is his striking. And if you can stop him from grappling you, you piece him up like Royval did. That's what I think Van would do to Tatsuro Taira. And I'm shocked that people genuinely think Taira destroys Van. I don't know where this narrative came from that Van gets out-grappled in all these fights. He's literally never been out-grappled in any fight. He's never had a fight happen to him where he gets taken down and just completely dominated or held down even for a long-ass time. This is, I hate to do this and throw him under the bus, but this is not JDM. I love JDM, but I'm going to keep it a buck. Joshua Van has better takedown defense and better get-up ability than JDM, and I still believe in what JDM's capable of, but Joshua Van would beat the fuck out of Tatsuro Taira, right? My logic is that in the order that they will fight in this year, we will end 2026 with Tatsuro Taira as flyweight champion. Manel Kape will fight Joshua Van in the early part of the year, and he will win that fight, and then he'll turn around and he'll fight Tatsuro Taira, and Tatsuro Taira will beat Manel Kape. That is what I think is going to happen at flyweight, and then whoever's left standing at the end, maybe if Pantoja doesn't come back in time, we get Van versus Taira for the belt, or we get Taira versus Pantoja next, like 2027 for the belt. But this is my prediction for every single champion in 2026. Make sure that you comment your opinion in the comments down below if you actually listen to what the fuck I said, because nothing makes me more mad than people that just make up takes that I've had. Actually drives me up the fucking wall. But regardless of that, let me know your opinions in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Let me know who you think's gonna be champ in the comments, man. I love having these kind of prediction discussions with you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA for all updates on the videos. And I will see you guys in the next video, man. Have a good holidays, boys. I hope you're enjoying it. Goodbye.